My greetings, my lovies. How you guys doing today? We're going to get into the Kayballon. Yes, today we're doing the Kayballon. I think I'm going to start doing a lot of these little teachings on the Hermetics because I truly get the Hermetics. And the reason I understand the Hermetics is because I can see my life and my experiences into the Hermetics. Like, they make a whole lot of sense to me. Okay, if you would like to hear how to get out of hell, how to get your stones, create your stones, because you are a philosopher and you're going to create alchemic stones. You're going to climb your way up out of hell. I am here to show you how powerful you are. Nobody broke us down, man. Nobody told us we had this much power on the inside of us. But as I sit here and I'm reading the Hermetic tablets, because there's quite a few of them, and I'm skipping around, but I'm getting what is resonating with me, what makes sense to me, if that makes any sense. Let me try to get y'all out this sun. If I can get you out the sun. Is that better? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all, but the sun want to be seen because the sun has a lot to do with this. You want to ask the sun to shine its beam down on you, because when the sun shines a ray down on you, a beam down on you, if you only knew what you was getting from that beam, you are being so blessed. So let's get right into this lesson, y'all. Like and subscribe to my channel and leave comments if you have questions, if you don't understand what I'm saying, if something resonates with you, if something clicks in there, man, put it in the comment section. Let's have a conversation, because they have been conversating about these tablets for I was finna say eons. It can't be eons for us, but thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years is like eons to us, right? Okay. Now remember, on my channel, we are spirit. I call it spirit walking, okay? We take our bodies and we put them in a healing center, because in the Kayballon, in the Hermetic text, in the Emerald tablets, in the Divine Pymander, they all talk about a place where negative energy goes to be healed. And I named it a healing center, so we can understand it in human understanding and get it deep down in our soul, that there is a place for our skin suit, which is full of hurt, pain, man, despair, whatever you think that got you down in a rut is stuck in this skin suit. So we're going to come out of it. You're not gonna die. We're gonna come out of it and we're gonna send it to the healing center so it can be healed, because we don't need any bias, any doubt, anything getting in the way of us getting the lessons to what I'm about to explain to you. So now you're going to be breath, you are going to be vibration, you are going to be frequency, and this is how you're going to begin to understand things in this form. Okay, the skin suit is in the healing center. You've come out. The real you has come out. So now you are space. You are a space child. You are floating in space. You are blending in with everything. You are connected to everything. Okay? So this is how you have to keep your imagination. Try to stay in character. Just remember, while the healing suit is in the suit is in the healing center, you're being healed, you're being restored, you're being rejuvenated, you're being renewed, because you have given your body a break. You are literally separating right now in this very moment. If you're sticking with me and you're listening to me, you are separating from this body, which means you're giving this body a break. You getting your ass out the way. You getting your 2 cents out the way. You getting your opinion out the way. Because this body is so smart. It knows what to do. It don't need your input. But when something happens, the body needs you to speak up for it, to speak life into it, to encourage it, because it's a living being just like you. It has feeling, it has thought, all of that. So your job is to make this body happy. Make what's inside of this body in harmony. Everything has to be on one accord. So since we don't really understand the mechanics of how the body works, and we got ailments and we got issues, and we need you, Lord, we need you so bad, can we send ourselves up to be healed? You want these parts of you to be healed, and I'm going to explain to you why you want these parts of you to be healed. You want these parts of you to be healed because inside of you is darkness. You share darkness inside of you. When the children of light fell from heaven, they made it with the females. Therefore, their light that went out, their darkness meshed with us. Light and dark don't mix, so that's why you're always in a battle. You always feel like you at war with yourself. Like every time you do something good, something else pops up, because it's the darkness job to snuff out the light. But you have dominion over the earth, meaning you have dominion over your entire being. Not the earth that you walking around on, okay? But the earth is you. You are of the earth. We're thinking spiritually. So you are the lesser, you are the younger, but you will rule the older. You will get that light, that dark light, to begin to shine again. That dark light will become in agreement, because if you don't heal what you got going on in this healing center, this will turn into a demon and devour you, because this is what the darkness job is to keep you in bondage, to keep you thinking you're not good enough, to keep you thinking, oh, you're not worthy, you can't do this, oh, you a piece of trash, you low, don't nobody love you, don't nobody like you, oh man, if I was you, I wouldn't do that, that wouldn't be no good idea, oh, you crazy, you, this right here is going to devour you. Its job is to come at you with all negative force, with all the power that it knows. Its job is to overcome your light and snuff out your light. So when you die, your life is going to testify against you. A lot of people say it's your heart, but you tell your life to be honest. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? When you testify against me, be honest, because those parts that you didn't put in the healing center, they become demonic. They become evil. So if you are an envious person, if you're a jealous person, if you're a narcissistic person, if you're a bully type person, if you're a person that like to lie on people and lay in wait and watch them just go through stuff, if you using people because you don't want to use your own resources, you like a little miser, you want to keep your stuff and use other people's stuff to come up, come on, go with me. You can get deeper and deeper into this thing. If you're an unforgiving person, if you're a revengeful person, if you're a type of person that like to be on top and you keep everybody up under you, if you boastful with your riches and beat people up for not being rich and not being on your level, if you like to take your things which are your identity and you like to shove them in people's face and try to make people feel bad because they don't have what you have, because you feel like what you have is the best and what they got is the lowest, when deep down inside you wish you had what they got. All you got is these material things. Y'all, I know people like this, but if you don't work on these actions, Now, if you in spirit form, remember, these actions turn into demons, and those parts of you will be turned over to the demon that you carry, that you got, that know you, that been hanging around you. See, every time you try to get your life straight, its job is to bring up the bad, but it's not really bringing up the bad. What's happening is your light is shining so bright, it's causing things that's hidden to be seen. It's causing things to scream and shout. That light burn, that light hurt. So them negative things gonna be kicking and screaming and yelling, I don't wanna go, I'm not going. But your light is shining. Look, boo, I'm feeling better. I'm finding out about myself. I'm loving myself. I am something. I am worth something. I can do this. I am worthy of love. Look at me. I'm being loved. See that little thing like, See, your job is to dissolve that thing. Snuff that thing light out. Get rid of it so it don't even have to travel with you when you go to heaven, because any little part of you that belongs to that demon, the part that you refuse to turn to light, will be given over to the devourer, and the devourer you carry. So the parts of you that are light, the parts of you that are loving and giving and kind and gentle and full of empathy and compassion and just willing to do when nobody tells you to, when you willing to smile and give a word, when you willing to turn the other cheek and decide that it's not worth arguing or fighting because you can see the long run, you can look around 360 and see the domino effect. When you check yourself, when you constantly keep on working on yourself, which is the only way you can remain honest, by the way. God cannot deal with a dishonest person. Honest people constantly work on themselves. When they see they made a boo-boo, they say, oh no, they don't feel right. They can't sleep at night. They gotta unrest until they straighten it out. So that part of you is met by the light, and it is welcome. But the parts of you that you don't want to put up in that healing center, you want to roll with, you want to kick out of here with, that part of you is going to be given over to the demon. Now, can you imagine what scheming looks like in a spirit form? Can you imagine what stepping on somebody's feelings look like just to make yourself look good in front of other people? Can you imagine what that looks like in demonic form? Can you imagine what knocking somebody's self-esteem, stealing their dream, making them not fulfill their destiny because you got them feeling this small with your words, and your words fell on soil that planted seeds now, and it was effective in this person's life. It caused this person to stay in this little rut. I guess I'm gonna have to pick the phone up. But it caused this person to stay in this rut, and this person is going through it because of you. Can you imagine what that will look like as a beast, as a demon, as something that is going to devour you? And when you die, your senses are 10 times as strong as they are on earth. I have been dead before, and I felt love. Thank God it was not hurt, harm, or evil, but I felt love. Y'all, I couldn't take it. I felt like I was about to explode, but there was nobody to explode. But in the raw, you cannot handle these emotions. So imagine these emotions coming to life, coming after you. So you're not getting away with it. You're not getting away with making a mother cry over her child's grave because you couldn't let some stupid beef go because somebody disrespected the color of a freaking cloth. You see how dumb, how stupid we overlook things because we don't see the end. We don't know the end. We think that this is it, but you're literally creating your own hell. So this is what we talked about. getting rid of the darkness so you can become more light, because you want to be light when you get up there, when you stand before the seven, because the seven will be there to testify against you too. So when you're there around the 12, when you're in that circle and you're being judged, man, you want to be light. You don't want to see parts of you breaking off and going down to the pit to be tortured forever and ever. And you just go with just a little bit, and you got a lifetime to get it together. No. So this is what we talked about yesterday. Climbing out of hell. So it says, silence is of great profit. Meaning you can really profit from being silent. Like you can really be rewarded by just looking. Sorry y'all, something on the tip of my nose. Sometimes just being a listener and not saying anything, you can be rewarded for that. Because you ever notice somebody say something and you respond, next thing you know somebody said you done said something, that junk so twisted it ain't nowhere near the conversation you had, but you knew you was there around that person, you knew you was talking to him, and you shouldn't have been talking to him. While they was mumbling and grumbling and complaining, you should have walked off. If they was talking about somebody and belittling somebody, we gotta stop being a part of conversations like that. And B, if it wasn't no good talk, it wasn't positive, you should have just ignored it. You know what I'm saying? Act like you had somewhere to go, or just change the subject. You don't know how to change the subject when stuff make you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to talk about it. You better learn how to change the subject skills. But it says it could be a great profit, meaning you can be rewarded, and it could be a great profit, like a pastor, a preacher, someone to mentor you and teach you, a leader, a guider, someone with ancient knowledge, someone with deep hidden mystic knowledge from far, far, far beyond. Silence can get you that. Silence can allow you to be there, because silence will allow you to hear, because thoughts never go anywhere. These people are still preaching that have passed on, and this was their passion, this was their fire, this was their coat of arms. They gave their life up for this. They went out talking like this. Nothing changed it. This is their coating. So their coating is still over the world. Their words are still covering, coating us, sheltering us, keeping us warm, keeping our fire burning on the inside. You can get messages from beyond, and that is your purpose, to become to become one of them. That's why you learn as much as you can, because when you pass on, you become a star in the sky. You become a guide to someone on earth. You become that knowledge. Your words will still be speaking. That's why I commend all of you people on YouTube who are out there spreading the word, that are trying to wake people up, because guess what? Your reward in the end, you're going to become that star. You're going to become that light. And when you stand before the judge, it shouldn't be no darkness. It shouldn't be no darkness to give over to the demon to devour, because you done dissolved that bad baby on earth. See, the job is to rid the earth of all of those trespassers. Forgive us our trespasses. To get rid of them hitchhikers. You're supposed to become more light. So the more of us that wake up, the more of us become light, guess what? We dispel in the evil. We dispel in the darkness. See, they dumb self trapped themselves in here, not knowing that we were more powerful than they. We are more powerful than they. We are more powerful than the angels in the heavens. You know why? Because, and this is in the Kayballon, the 3 initiates, they don't want to leave heaven because they don't want to leave the power. But us, we can go from heaven to earth. It don't mind. It don't bother us. We could travel. We could go to heaven, stay in heaven, chill for a few days, come back down here, chill for a few days. And we do that all the time. But see, them, they would never come from the heavenly realm. But us, we can go in both. See, we more powerful. And we get to experience. They don't get to experience. So you could need to consider yourself very special, very, very, very valuable to the universe. But the more you wake up, the more the order is balanced. See, everything sort of unbalanced because darkness is taking over, and it looks like darkness is winning, and it looks like darkness is winning because there is more light shining on the earth. So the darkness is coming out. Everything hidden is being seen. Everything is coming out. You don't even gotta guess no more. You don't even have to work hard to see what's going on. People telling on themselves, people bragging and telling on themselves, and they don't even understand that their mouths are possessed, that they are possessed with this issue, this darkness. This darkness is ruling. This darkness is yelling and screaming and kicking. It will live. It will survive. It don't care what it gotta do to you. It don't care what it destroy. It don't love nothing you love. It don't care about nothing you care about. It's not from here. It's not of here. To them, we're nothing. So they get in here and they think they can destroy what God made. But if only they knew, you trapped yourself, boo-boo. You trapped yourself in here. Now I got the power over you. I got dominion over you, over the foul things, over the creepy things, the foul things in the air. Those are those negative thoughts coming down, telling you to do stupid stuff that's inhumane, telling you to hurt yourself, telling you if you cut yourself, you'll release a whole lot of pain. If you cut yourself, you just cutting yourself, fool. If you cut yourself, you just hurting your precious skin. You just hurting your precious body. And all that demon is trying to do is get you to go deep enough. Every time you cut yourself, you go deep enough. You almost die because they know the reward in the end is you. And you sitting up there falling for the suicide spirit. Same thing, telling you, you ain't from here. You don't want to be here. If you get rid of yourself, look, everybody will be happy. And then people who commit suicide do it in such a rude way. In such a nasty way. They want to be discovered that way. That's a statement to me. That's not love. That's wanting to hurt everything in your path when you hang yourself and you leave yourself up there for somebody to find you, your children, your loved ones. You want that memory to be in them forever. That's not God. That is a demon. And then that is that demon way of putting its stain, its mark, its scar, and all those other beings so they can remain. That's another piece of darkness that can be used to overtake the light. See, we gotta get smarter. We gotta get smarter than the darkness, because that darkness is God. That darkness is light. That darkness came from heaven. So that darkness know everything. That darkness know you can get out. That darkness know you got the power to push it out. But why tell you? Why would I tell you how to get rid of me when I know I can own you and everything at the end? All I got to do is keep making you be more evil, more nasty. All I got to do is keep on tricking you. Keep on telling you you ain't doing good. Why do you think when you, okay, say you were touched as a child and you're an adult now, you over it, you living on, you going on with your life, then good things start happening. Good things start happening. Them negatives, they got the vibe. We got to come up with something sinister. We got to come up with something to get this vibe to change, because if they keep vibrating this way, that light gonna get brighter, y'all, and we're going to be lesser. So they make you come up with them damn memories. They make you start remembering that BS. But you know what you're supposed to do? Look, that junk happened long time ago. That is not affecting my life. You're not fooling me. See, I can see you. by what you bring to me. I wasn't thinking about that. That was nowhere near my radar. You brought that up because something good is coming. Something good is about to happen to me. And you need for me to change my vibration so you can have your way with me. But guess what? Take your butt to the healing center and be healed right now. And you are not allowed to come back unless you are in harmony. You either get with the program or you get somewhere. I dispel you right now. I bind you right now by the blood of Jesus. I bind you with every positive word of power to make you sick, to make you weak, to confuse you. You won't even be able to talk to your own counterparts. You get right. You get in that healing center. And healing center, figure out what this issue is. Take care of my light work. Take care of my light work. Turn this dark into light and do not let it come back unless it's shining bright. It got to be shining so bright that it's in agreement with the rest of the light. See, you got to be able to pay attention to when these negative forces just jump in and just interrupt you with their rude self. They always rude and they always coming foul. That is what you have dominion over. And if you keep on practicing, keep on practicing, you will rid yourself of that issue and it will never bother you again. You keep going until something happens. You keep going until something happens. You never, ever, ever give up. Never give up. You fight for your freedom. It's yours. You are going to be a whole light when it's your time. And all while you're doing it, you're being honest. You're staying honest. Therefore, God has to stay in your presence. And all while you doing it, boo, you creating the beautifulest stones. You can see the beauty happening. You can see the synchronicities. When you fall into synchronistic lifestyle, nothing can harm you. Nothing can touch you because you're in a pattern. And on that path, and you don't get off that path. That's why you learn your puzzle pieces. You learn your monopoly pieces. You learn the pieces that are that are objects, but they are alive and live. So when you get somewhere and you see your word, which is an object, you could be like, oh, I'm being watched. There go my signs right there. That's how I live my life, y'all. So when I step in that hospital and I see my signs showing up and they be talking that death stuff in my ear, I be like, but I be focused. I might be focused on a ginger ale can with a stallion on it, because a stallion is one of my signs. So I would sit there and look at it. And a horse represents muscle. My heart is a muscle. I would sit there and imagine myself riding that stallion just as free with long flowing hair, the wind blowing. I'm feeling so good. And they have to be like, Miss Taylor, are you listening? I'm like, yeah, I hear you. Then I got to hurry up and go back to ride my horse, right? Because in reality, they had to use a horse-based substance to try to save my heart from this rejection that they say that I'm going through. But I think this rejection is a sign that anything negative trying to attack me or come into my body, it is being rejected. But in the doctor world, it's showing rejection of, and like my heart, my the donor bodies is, they keep producing, so they feel like my heart may be in jeopardy or my arteries may be in jeopardy because of this rejection. But y'all, I feel fine. I feel good, and somehow I keep surviving. So I'm not gonna worry about the doctor words, which I appreciate the doctors, because you're supposed to go to the doctor, y'all. It say don't be stupid. Go to the doctor, because the doctors got answers and the doctors got healing in their hand and they got knowledge, and they can let you know what you need to be praying for, what you need to be claiming your healing for. So don't be so holy and you don't go to the doctor, because that's crazy. God trained them doctors for you. He taught them about their body so they can help you. Now, it says, The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. So if you don't have ears of understanding, you always being irrational and you always being negative, you will not hear wisdom. Wisdom only comes to her children, and she know her children. Her children can hear her. All of these lessons are oral. You must have ears to hear. So all the things that I've said, you should have it sunk down in your spirit. Okay, there are 3 planes that exist, but these 3 planes are thought-wise. They are levels. They are universal acts of life, terms used to vary degrees, forms, and activity. That's what they're for. There is an energy, a nature that's highly organized, and it bears characteristics of life, but which not is recognized by the mind of the ordinary man. And this plane is on one of those planes, but inside those 3 planes are 7 other highly organized planes. And if you are in the 5th dimension, which I am, you can look into it like you're there, not really looking into it, you're there. So things that happen in that dimension happens to you. And y'all know I got a juicy story to tell y'all to hook up with this, to let you know that these tablets are telling the truth, because I'm having experiences that explains these things. And I'm gonna read it again. It says there are 7 highly organized, that it bears characteristics of life, but which not is recognized by the mind of man on ordinary plane of development, being available for use on beings in or of the spiritual plane alone. Such energy is unthinkable to ordinary man and may be considered as the divine power, the same or as God, into the highest human types known to us. The great mental plane provides for us living things known to us in life, meaning there are beings that are here on earth that they duplicate life, things that we're used to seeing, and they come to our aid and they help us. They're on the mental plane. You have to be on the mental plane in order to observe them, because they cannot be seen by ordinary man's thinking, ordinary man's mind development. Like, your mind really gotta be developed into this spiritual side. Like I said, I've been walking in the spirit for the longest. I keep my bodysuit in the healing center. That's why it's always getting healed. I don't got nothing to do with what going on in my body. So I tend to kingdom business, and I trust that the healing center working out this heart condition and everything that I'm going through. When I go to the doctor, I keep getting good reports. The only thing they keep saying is they just can't get rid of the rejection. But what is rejection? You see what I'm saying with these words and how they play tricks and how words transform and morph? Rejection could mean something good, not something bad. But there are beings on this earth that are sent to aid us. They are mortal, but they are immortal at the same time, and they carry human characteristics. So if you see one, you would look at it, but it's something about it that you would know that is kind of off. So these beings come to aid you, to, like, if you sick, or if they aid you in danger, when you're in trouble, when you need to be at a certain place, when they have packages in their hand for you. Like, they might got the keys to your house, they might got the keys to your car, they might got the answer to a question you've been having, but they're in a form where you can see them and actually talk to them, but by the human eye they have no idea that they're there. But you are the only ones that can see them, and you have to be a member, a citizen of this plane, meaning you done left 4D, you get 4D, now you in 50 headed to 60, so you're getting the benefits of what happens to you if something happens to your body or in your situation. How would it be handled in this 5D energy? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this text actually being true. Like I said, my life is living proof of these tablets. So maybe I experienced these experiences because God knew I was going to come along and read these tablets, and I was going to be able to explain the tablets to you all. So let me explain how I met a lady named Linda. Linda is one of these people with human characteristics, but she's coming from the heaven above, and she's coming with all power, all divine might, and she came to take care of me. When I was in the hospital, I think I was in my second rejection. My heart was at 15% again, and I was really sick. They didn't want me to do anything. I couldn't bathe myself. I couldn't get up and walk to the bathroom, even though it felt like I could. If I attempted to, all of the machines I was hooked up to, the numbers would rage, the numbers would go up, so they can tell any movement that I made. I was told to be totally still, that any movement would wear me out and make me tired. So they had an issue with me because I'm used to being tough. I can't apologize for that, y'all. I've been on my own since I was 15. I had a child at 15. I grew up in a foster home. Like, I've been through it, so I'm tough. Me not being able to take care of myself just didn't make sense to me. So I was demanding that my body act right, that I'm in charge, that I can do stuff myself. All I wanted to do was bathe myself. And we take small things for granted. I just wanted to bathe myself. They said, no, you cannot bathe yourself. So me being stubborn, because I'm very stubborn, I said, well, since y'all won't let me bathe myself, nobody won't bathe me. Then I'll just lay here and smell. I can wash myself. Y'all, that junk went on for about maybe 4 or 5 days. I would not bathe. I would not, because I wanted to do it. I refused to let a person touch my private parts. You know, I'm not gay. I'm not bisexual. So the thought of any woman wiping my vagina, and I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm straight, you know, to me, that was where my mind was. And y'all, that's 3D thinking, by the way. That's 3D thinking. That's stupid, but that's where my mind was. I was more concerned about that, and then I was more concerned about being embarrassed because I couldn't wipe my own butt. So my head wasn't in the right space. It was in the 3D thinking. Thank God, because God taught my smart butt a lesson in there, right? It wasn't even about that. You would thank God if you was sick as I was, anybody come wipe your butt and try to take care of you. But I didn't grasp it at the time. I was used to being strong. My last name is Strong. I'm Miss Strong. I'm married to a strong. I'm strong. I'm not weak. My name say I'm strong. But y'all, I was weak and I needed help, and I could not admit that I needed help. And that is a handicap. That is a disease. That is the stupidest thing in the world you could ever think, because you can't make it on this earth by yourself. And I didn't think like that. So as I'm sitting there saying, no, I'm not taking a bath, this lady walks in the room. She's very peculiar looking. She has no hair. She's completely bald. She looks like she has a skin graft. Like maybe she caught on fire, or maybe she had cancer. But she looked like she had some skin issues. Like they patched skin on her somewhere. Like she really had been in a fire. Her eyebrows were painted with this black shiny paint. I couldn't stop looking at her eyebrows. I was focused because I said, who would do that to themselves? Why not use an eyebrow pencil? Why that black shiny paint? So she came and she told me that I needed to cut out my behavior and how I was acting. And I asked her, who the hell you think you talking to? How am I acting? She said, you're being irrational, for one. Two, these doctors are telling you any movement you make could cause your life. You're really sick. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to say, hey, I need help. Right now, you need help. You cannot bathe yourself. If you bathe yourself, you'll die. And I cried. And I cried and I cried. And I said, well, I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, but the day I let somebody wipe me, I have to admit that I'm sick. She said, well, baby, this is the day you have to admit that you are sick. You're going to get a bath. She said, we ain't going to worry about them out there, but I'm going to bathe you, and you ain't going to give me no problems. And for some reason, y'all, my toughness kind of bowed down to her. Like, okay. But then I was like, but I can't wipe myself a little bit. She was like, no. And I cried and I said, I don't want nobody to wipe my monkey. I call my vagina my monkey. And I was like, it's just not right. I can't wipe my own self. I gotta actually open my legs to you and you gotta wipe me. She said, I don't mind. She said, do you know how loved you are? Do you know how many people care about you? She said, girl, it's beyond you. It's so beyond you. You're gonna survive this thing. And you're gonna be okay. And you're gonna cut out all this ugliness that you sitting around here spreading around when these people really here to help you. These people really want to help you and they telling you right. She said, now, you want to die just because you want to wipe yourself down there? I said, no. She said, well, spread them. Because I'm sure finna bathe you, y'all. She had an attitude on her that I can't even describe her attitude, but you knew not to play with her. Like, I knew to just leave it alone. This was not going away. And she told me, and you stink. She said, you really, really stink. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself smelling like this. She said, you need help. And I'm going to give you some help. That lady ran my water. My husband sat there. He said, hey, I ain't got nothing to say. My husband saw her. So she would come. She bathed me. They would come in there to bathe me. And I would say, well, I already had a bath. And they would say, oh, okay. But they would never ask me, well, who gave you a bath? But she would give me a bath every day. So we got to know her. And she was so funny. She was so freaking fun to be around. And one day, my husband went to get some, he went to Moe's. And she said, oh, that smells so good. She said, what is that? And we was like, it's a burrito. She said, what is a burrito? I should have caught on then, right? I said, you don't know what a burrito is? She said, And so my husband said, here, take half of this because she ain't finna eat this big old thing. She don't even supposed to be having it. So we cut it and we gave her half of it. We wrapped it up, put it in something. She kissed me on my forehead and she told me, I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, okay. So she would come. She would come up there. So she asked me a lot of things about God. Like she talked to me about God a lot. And from this lady, I went home and I digressed a minute. Let me go backwards. I digressed a minute. This wasn't my second rejection. This was right before I got my heart. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Okay, this was right before I got my heart when they was telling me I only had 2 weeks to live. I was too weak to bathe myself and I refused to not, to let anybody bathe me, and she came in because she asked me, had I ever heard of the Prayer of Jabez? Did I know anything about the Prayer of Jabez? And I told her I had heard of it, but didn't really know the meaning of it. So she told me that the Prayer of Jabez was you trusting God and God knowing everything that you need. You don't have to tell him what to do. Like, he know the void. He feels the voids. She said, you say this prayer 3 times a day. Today, she said, you read this book and you leave it alone. She said, you don't ask God for anything. You trust that God knows what you need. Y'all, 3 days later, I got my heart. I got my heart. I got my heart in a month and a half. And I stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks. I loved that book. I hugged that book. That book meant so much to me. I wrapped the book up. So the following few days, I had to come back for a checkup. I said, I want to personally give Miss Linda this book and to thank her for the love and all that affection she showed me, how she got on my butt and made me act right. I can't believe it because people can't do that. Like, it's hard to get me to go with the flow because I'm my own boss. I'm my own me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be bossed around. I have authority issues. I'm the authority. But sometimes authority needs some authority, y'all. And I learned that. But I tried to take the book back, right? I wrapped it up. I put it in the trunk. When I went back to the hospital, I went in the trunk to get the book. Tell me why the book was gone, but the wrapping was still there. The cloth that I wrapped it in was still there. So I kept going around asking for Nurse Linda, Nurse Linda. They said, we don't know nobody named Linda. Don't nobody work here like that. I was like, she, her skin, this, her eyebrow. You cannot say you have not seen her. This lady be in my room every day, sometimes for hours and hours. Even my children have seen her. My husband have seen her. They like, nobody works here like that, y'all. I let it go a few years ago because I seen that she was never there, that I had just been blessed. So when I got my heart, I went home with my godmother. My godmother lived by herself. I had to be in a sterile environment. I needed for it to be quiet, and I needed to heal, and I needed to be in a really, really clean place. And she was OCD clean, and she was a pastor, and she lived by herself. Y'all, I got into a trance, a mantra where I was just saying, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I was saying it for hours and hours. I couldn't make myself stop saying it. I was crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. And what had happened was I walked to the mailbox to check the mailbox and noticed that I didn't give out a breath, that I wasn't tired, that I felt good. And I thought about I actually checked the mailbox. So I broke down, y'all, and all day I was in a thank you Jesus trance. So I kept saying, I want to go to church. I want to go to church. So she had her own church. She's dead now. May God rest her soul. But she had her own church. So when she took me to church, I got out the car. I heard this piano playing, and it sounded like Little Richard's music. And I've told this story before on my channel, and I don't know which videos it was, but it's just making me put everything that I've done up into one big ball of beauty to show you that the emerald tablets are real, the Kayballon is real, the divine Pymander, which is the mind, is real, and that the way I've been living my life is right. I've been on the right path. Like, I really have been living in 5D. Like, I'm proud of myself. But when we got to that church and that music, I said, Mama, did you hire Little Richard to play the piano? And she laughed. She said, funny thing you say that, Tasha, 'cause wait till you see him. So when we got in there, oh my God, he was gone on that piano. And then he might have said, oh, like Little Richard be saying. I said, no. When I turned around to look at him, he looked like Nurse Linda. It could have been Nurse Linda, but this time there was no like skin grafts. This time the eyebrows was painted on, and the mustache was painted on, and the eyeliner was painted on, which gave it that Little Richard slash mystic look. And so he looked at me, I looked at him, and I said, well, my God, Little Richard is playing the darn piano. This man was identical to Little Richard, as if Little Richard had aged a little. This man was probably maybe 75, 80 years old. He was that old. He stopped playing the piano. This is no lie. On everything I love. On the heart that's beating in my chest. On the children that I have, and the husband I hold so dear to my heart. And this beautiful light in me, I would give it all up if I am lying, y'all. This man said, oh my God. And he fell to his knees in front of the whole church. He said, she's been with God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. She's been with God. Oh, hallelujah. Y'all, she been with God. He said, how do God look? How do God sound? What did he say? Can I touch your feet? Can I hold your hand? Can I touch you? Can I hug you? Y'all, this man was so excited, and everybody in the church just came around me and started touching me and hugging me, and I could feel some type of force coming out of me into the people. And they were saying, oh, I need you to pray for me, I need my son this and this. And y'all, I started touching people, and I started telling them, prophesying to them their issues. And everybody I touched, I knew what they needed. I knew what was wrong. And my godmother seen me getting weaker and weaker, but I was still going, and she pulled me out of the crowd. She said, y'all, get away from her. You stealing her virtue. You stealing her virtue. She cannot be touched. She cannot be touched. Y'all, I miss my godmother, because this is who I talked to with all my spiritual experiences. She was spiritual too, and she could see, and she was, I believe that lady was 8D. If it's a such thing as 8D, I think she was 8D, but she was the one that I would talk to when I would have my spiritual experiences. So she said she can't be touched. And it reminded me when Jesus came out of the tomb and they tried to touch him, he told them, don't touch me yet. Don't touch me yet. But this man said that I had been with the Father. Like, this was a amazing service. So she sat me on the pulpit behind her while she gave her sermon, and she gave my testimony to everybody, because most people didn't even know who I was or what I was going through. So from that day on, my godmother had a habit of feeding people. After service, she would take a handful of people out to eat. Never failed. She would not let you pay. You could try to pay for her, you get cussed out. So he would go, and every time we got in the car, he would sit by me. Like, he wouldn't let my husband sit by me. He would sit by me. He would hold my hand the whole time. He would lean on me the whole time. He would just rub himself against me the whole time. Like, he was just oozing on me, y'all. This little man was so full of love. And he would just rub my face. He would tell me he loved me and that I was special and that God loved me. When we went to the restaurant, and the only place my godmother went to was Piccadilly. So anybody on here know Reverend Joan Stewart knew she ate at Piccadilly. It was always Piccadilly and the South DeKalb Mall. He would sit by me. He wouldn't even let my husband sit by me. He was like, man, you ain't gonna let me sit by my wife. He like, no, I'm sitting by her. I want to sit by her. So me and him ate by each other every Sunday until one Sunday came and I didn't see him no more. I haven't seen him anymore. But I was with him and I was with Linda. So there are beings on the earth that come to help you, and they come to aid you, and they come to see about you, and they cannot be seen with human eyes for what they are. But I saw them for what they are. Now, I could understand why the people at the hospital didn't see Nurse Linda, but the people at church could. But I guess there was a holy place, so he was made visible. But I understood who he was. I said, I know you. He said, I know you know me. I said, I've seen you before. He said, I know you've seen me before. I said, it's good to see you again. He said, and indeed it is. So we had an understanding that we knew each other. And I heard David, not David Icke, David Wilcox talk about the Tibetan rainbow people. And they fit the description of the Tibetan rainbow people. Now, there is another plane that they talk about in the Kabbalion, and it's called the plant mind. Remember, these are just levels of thinking, levels of conscience, levels of mind, scales, levels. So there is one called the plant mind, which you can talk to plants and plants can communicate with you. Plants have souls. Did y'all know that? Did you know plants have souls? Yes. I hope y'all getting a lot of information out of this, because this stuff is oozing through me. It says the plant mind. Mind in life in plants. Plants have souls that play their part in the role of the universe. Kingdom plane of life can be seen in the 7 subdivisions: semi-human and intelligence, meaning when you get to that 5th level, you can see into the 7 subdivisions. And in the subdivisions, there is plant life. There is plants that have souls. Plants talk. Plants sing. You know what I'm saying? Plants can even get up and walk in this world. See, I told you, you guys stay in your imagination. You'll go crazy if you come out from over here and try to jump back in your body and understand what I'm saying. But remember, you may not agree with what I'm saying. You may even get pissed at what I'm saying, but don't come for me, because if you've been on here this long, that means you've been over here in the spirit. And if you come at me over here, all I can do is pray for you. Ain't no telling what domino effect is gonna have on you. So don't insult me. If you just don't like it, please move on. Don't play on this page, because I'm not by myself. You may see me making this video, but I'm not by myself. And they hear and see everything that's going on. They hear and see each and every one of you watching this video. And it doesn't matter what point in time this video comes, it's gonna be at the right time. It could be 5 years from now, but it's for the person that's seeing it. It's gonna be what's needed for them, because their time does not exist. So now I have to give you an example of when you're tapped in. You tap into the plant kingdom, the plant world, that can only be seen by those with those type of eyes, with that type of thinking, which I am. Now, I went to California to visit a friend. I tell this story on one of my pages. Me and this person are no longer friends because of this incident. And it makes me question if we were ever really friends. But when I tell you, this lady means so much to me. I love this lady with all my heart and soul. And I hate that it had to happen the way it happened. But I have to be in order, and I have to be obedient. I have to obey, and I have to keep going. Like, I would like so much to call my friend and try to convince my friend to that what she think happened didn't happen, but that's not my job. So a plant caused all of this riffraff between us, but it wasn't meant to be riffraff. It was meant to be love. I have a friend that was in an abusive relationship. She was married to someone who was not kind to her. He passed on. I went to visit her on her birthday. Her birthday was maybe a day away. She was having issues with all of the pain. See, it's the darkness job. See, she was happy. She was in a good mood, but the darkness had to come up and bring up all of them ugly feelings. But these are things that she really has not dealt with. Anytime you light up, you're going to uncover something. So if you uncover something, just know it's because you lit up, and that thing had to show itself. It had to sprout up. But she began to think of the ugly stuff and start saying, I wonder, is he sorry? I wonder, do he know what he did to me? I wonder, do he know how much pain he took me through? Am I gonna be alone forever? Like, is anyone ever gonna love me? Y'all, that was hurting me, hearing her talk like that, because I think she deserves all the love in the world. I think she deserves a man that would lift her up and treat her like the queen that she is. And y'all, she is highly gifted too. She is highly gifted too. It's a lot of us gifted people bamboozled by the negative lights, and it's snuffing out our power, and it's causing our light to be dim. But y'all, she is powerful, but she's human too. So something said, get out of here, go walk, don't stay in here. She's gonna bring down your vibration. And y'all, when you hanging around people that complain a lot, that are in pain a lot, that are down a lot, that hang on to the past a lot, that all they talk about is what they've been through, they don't see no way out, it will snuff your light out, and your light will become what they are. And remember, you're fighting the dark too, so you don't want to let your dark join their dark, then they'll gang up on you. So you have to fight these negative feelings. So I obeyed, I left, I walked past where I was coming towards the grocery store. Something said, go into the grocery store and buy her a gift for her birthday. I said, no, I'm not going in the grocery store to buy my friend a gift out no goddamn grocery store. My friend deserves better than that. Well, who can get a gift out the grocery store? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? So this is me in my 3D thinking, not realizing that I'm talking out loud for one. Something is actually talking to me and I'm actually responding. See, sometimes you get caught up, you get lost, but then you got to get your bearings. So the voice didn't change, the tone didn't change. It said, go in that store and buy Kim a Christmas gift. And her name is Kim. I didn't mean to call her name, but maybe Spirit want me to say her name, because God, this lady is so beautiful to me, y'all. I love this lady. I feel like crying because I miss her so bad. And it just was a big old misunderstanding. But it told me to go get her a gift out the grocery store. So I went into the grocery store to get the gift. And when I went in the grocery store, I said, okay, what am I in here for? When I looked to the left, the light shined on these orchids. These orchids look like they came out of space. They look like they came from another planet. They had glitter on them. They were these exotic, rich colors. I mean, these orchids was bad. I never seen orchids that like that beautiful. So it said get the orchids. So I went over there. I said, which ones? And the light was shining on the 3. So I knew to get those because the light was only shining on 3 plants. So when I picked the plants up, it said they were, this light just keeps shining, y'all. This light want to be seen. But the plants was like $59 a piece. And I said, I ain't finna spend no $59 for no goddamn flowers. Then you want me to get all 3? I said, I ain't got that type of money. And the voice said, yes, you do have it. It's in your right pocket. So right then and there, y'all. Okay, you ain't gotta tell me twice. That lady supposed to get these. These were the plants talking to me. So I bought the plants. When I got the plants up to her house, she began to scream. She began to shout. She was like, why did you do this? Why did you give me this? Why did you do this? Why did you do this? And I told her that I keep hearing I'm sorry. I feel like it's an apology. I don't know, but I just know I'm supposed to give you these flowers, because all while I was walking up the street trying to not drop these expensive plants, I kept hearing, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, this voice was making me want to cry. Like, it was sorry. So I gave her the plants. Come to find out, her husband was a part of the Orchid Association, which I didn't know. She's never, ever, ever, and I put that on everything I love, y'all. Y'all know me. She's never told me her husband was in the Orchid Society. I had no idea her husband even liked orchids, because in my thinking, a person that mean and hurtful, why would you like an orchid, the most gentlest flower ever? You could walk by an orchid and the leaves would fall off. But I kept hearing the voice say she's more precious than these orchids. And I said, the voice saying you more precious than the orchids. But come to find out, it was an apology from her husband from beyond. So her daughter came in, saw the orchids off the rip. She knew what it was about. There were tears. Her son, the same thing. They knew it was from their father. I didn't know she had an issue with it. I didn't know that it damn bothered her. So I'm writing my book that I already wrote. and it's selling on Amazon. It's called Primordial Knowledge, Getting to Know Consciousness by Latasha Talley. I did write my book, and I asked her for permission to put her story in my book because I wanted people to know that even though you've been hurt on this earth and you've been dogged out by somebody, it's all a learning process. And trust me, when they gone, they get to see what they did. Like, trust me, they are sorry. Like, we don't know better. If we knew better, we would do better. But it's like no need of holding a grudge. Move on with your life. Maybe she can't move on or find somebody because she's holding on to this grudge. So when I asked her if I could use her story for a book, because I feel like this is healing for somebody that's left in pain from a person that done passed on. If they can still apologize from beyond, you can be forgiving in the living. That was God isolating a moment just for her. And then I look at it like it was a birthday present. Like the whole universe was aware that it was her day. And she needed that closure, like she needed that. But it's so easy for people to believe in the bad stuff that happened to them. But the miracles, oh no, you made that up. That is so fake. So when I asked her if I could use her story, she said, why would you want to write about him? Because he's part of the story. He's the one that introduced me to the plant. He's the one that helped me get it. And he's the one that came through to apologize to you, like on your birthday. Like, oh my God, y'all, how loving can that be? Like, he's around her. He's aware of it's her birthday. He's aware of the pain he put her through. He's aware of her when she was doing all that crying. Said, do he even know what he did to me? Is he even sorry? And I can see him in the spirit realm saying, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. You know why? Because his bad parts was given over to the demon to devour. But the part that loved her, the part that was good, the part that loved God was there to love on her, to give her a moment. Instead, she said, you know what, Tasha? I've been wanting to tell you this for the longest. She said, I'm just gonna keep it real, and I don't care how you take it. Y'all, when somebody say that to you, get your bootstraps on and get ready to be disrespected. Get ready to be insulted. Get ready for the loving mouth that you think you're listening to say the most awfulest thing they could ever think of to say to you. This means she had been holding this in. It had been brewing. And I said something to tick it, to make it gone and pop, which was, can I put your story in my book so I could tell people about the beauty of the people apologizing from beyond? And she said, you know what? I think you made all that up. I think that was fake. You know what happened? You loved me so much. You saw me hurting. So you came up with a story to try to make me feel better. And evidently, I must have told you that he was in the Orchid Society. Y'all, I felt so disrespected because, for one, for you to think that I would hop on a freaking plane and fly all the way to see you and take your life hurt and create a scenario to lift myself up, to trick you into thinking I'm trying to lift you up. How dare you insult me that way? How dare you put that freaking label on me? How dare you think that my love for you is not real? How dare you think I would take your hurt and make fun of it for my own benefit? And then how dare you think that I would play with God in such a freaking matter? I'm walking around with somebody else's heart in my chest, meaning God love me. His eyes are upon me. He could see every freaking thing I do. And you think I would want to use something so awful, something so sinister just to play with your damn emotions? Y'all, I've never been so disrespected by a loved one in my life. I take the fucking molestation that I went through as a child over her because of what she meant to me, because of what she mean to me, and because of all the things we've been through, and because I thought she loved me as much as I loved her. Y'all, the love is so strong that I have for her that I don't know whether to call her mother or friend. You ever meet somebody so special you don't know whether they giving you mother vibes or friend vibes, like it's all blend in one. I love that freaking lady, but I will not be disrespected by nobody. And it's not my fault if you don't get it. It's not my fault because you rather hold on to the bullshit. You rather hold on to the hurt than to sit there and realize God froze time for you. God made an isolated moment for you to get an apology, and y'all, it was all due through an orchid. An orchid. Orchids. So through the plant kingdom came an apology. And y'all know when you give flowers what flowers mean. But that being, that soul was apologizing, and she spit on it. She spit in God's face, and she spit in my face. And do y'all know, with her selfish ways, which I know deep down inside God has convicted her. There is no way God has not convicted her from what she did. Do y'all know I have not heard from her since? She don't call me. She don't talk to me. And I text her once to tell her that I can't believe that she would think that me, of all the people in her life, would set her up like that and do something so sinister. Y'all, she never texts me back. I left it alone because some people, they like the hurt they go through. Some people like being in pain. Some people like to complain, and you can try to pull them out all you want to. They will fight and grovel to get right back in it. So I'm feeling like there was some jealousy there. I'm feeling like maybe she got sick of me. Maybe I got on her dang on nerve. Maybe she couldn't take me always calling her, telling her all the new stuff I done discovered. Like, maybe she grew a type of hate for me and she couldn't let it out yet. Because y'all, the day before I asked her about the book, she went off on me about something that was so dumb, and there was something so stupid, and I felt like something was coming, something burning. Just the sound of my voice was pissing her off. So I felt it coming. I just didn't know it was gonna come that way. But I'm not going to apologize for my gift, and I'm not gonna apologize for giving her those flowers, and I'm not gonna apologize for allowing them to use me to apologize to her, because guess what? She got her apology. Whether she accepts her apology and die bitter or not, that's on her. That's not my problem anymore. And I also have another story about a flower, which is a lotus. My friend was trying to see if her mother was trying to contact her, and she felt her lights flickering in the house. You know, they was going through all kind of little psychic phenomena, and she felt like it was her mother. But at the time, I kept seeing lotuses everywhere. Everywhere I would look, I would see a lotus. I had a dream that my dead mother wanted me to buy her some furniture across the street from her house, and it was a bar stool. It came with a table and two bar chairs, and it had lotus on it. It had the cups, the saucers, the cups, the plates. Everything was a beautiful ivory type lotus. Then every time I looked at TV, I kept seeing white lotus flowers. Then the lotus flowers start changing. I noticed there was a building next to the red light, next to the beauty supply store I go to, called the Blue Lotus. That's how the lotus started changing colors. So she was telling me about it, and she sent me a picture of this um thing she made for her mother in this glass case, and I saw these candle holders. They were crystal, and when I looked at them, I saw the tips of them. I couldn't see the whole thing. I said, what is that? And I heard a voice, a woman voice, said, lotus flowers, them lotus flowers. And so I asked her, my friend Kenya, if those were lotus flowers, and she told me she didn't know what a lotus flower was. I said, look it up. And she looked it up, and she said, yeah, those are lotus flowers. So I said, your mother is trying to contact you through lotus flowers. Have you ever been seeing lotus flowers everywhere? Because I'm seeing them like crazy. So if I'm seeing them, they're wanting me to get a message to somebody, and I'm thinking it's you, because you are the only person that showed me something with a lotus flower on it, and it's in your mother's beautiful case that you made for. I said, your mother is watching all of that energy that you put into making a big memorial for her. Like, that mural was beautiful that she made for her mother. It was thought of with care. It had all the things in it that her mom liked. I mean, it nice, and it had a light shining on it, so when you cut the lights off, it would just glow at nighttime. I said, your mother is admiring it, but she's liking those lotus flowers in there. I said, so you need to look for lotus flowers. If you want to connect with your mother, she trying to talk to you through lotus flowers. So she looked for the lotus flowers, looked for the lotus flowers. She said, Tasha, I'm frustrated. 3 weeks had went by. She said, I ain't seen no lotus flowers. I said, you done seen some lotus flowers. You just ain't paid attention. I said, well, don't look for them. They will suddenly just appear. And then in your memory, you'll say, oh, shoot, that was a lotus flower. So she went back through her week, and she noticed that she had been looking at some stuff on YouTube, and I think it was called Purple Lotus, some type of lotus, black lotus, purple lotus. She was looking at that channel. I said, there was your lotus. You was with your lotus the whole time. So she was talking about me to her kids at the table. She had her daughter, and she had her niece, and her daughter draws. And her daughter, she's a really good artist. But her daughter asked her if she could get a tattoo of her grandmother, and she showed her the picture. She drew the tattoo that she wanted to get, and it was of a lotus flower with her grandmother's name in it. So the niece sitting across from her says, oh, you talking about a tattoo like that? She said, when grandma died, she said, I went and got this tattoo. Tell me why she was sitting there with a lotus tattoo on her. So my friend called me, and she told me the whole story. So they sitting there rejoicing because grandmother is now sitting at the table with them. They are now in the presence of their grandma, and they can say whatever they want to. They can tell her they love her, they miss her, they know she's around. So now she knows that when her mother wants to communicate with her, something familiar to her, something personal to her, it would be those lotus flowers. So she called me and told me that she wanted to invest in this business, and she wasn't for sure if she should invest in the business. I told her, tell her mama to give her a sign, because your mama being your guide right now. So she said when she went to the seminar, The first thing they did was let down this big old banner, and it was a picture of a pink lotus. She put all her money into it, and she made a triple investment. See the plant kingdom. So there are many planes with many subdivisions inside of them, and depending on where you are, you get to experience the life that is lived inside that plane. So where I am right now, plants talk, plants do things. See how the plant kingdom work? But I hate my friend, and I'm still gonna call her my friend, because I feel like confusion divided us. I feel like anger divided us. I feel like jealousy divided us. I feel like bitterness divided us, and untruth divided us. So guess what? I am smart enough to know that those are tricks of darkness. So I'm going to keep praying to my friend. And in my book, I named her Blessed. So every time you read my story and you call her name, you're going to call her blessed, because she is blessed. She is a beautiful woman, and I miss her so much. But y'all, time will tell, y'all. Every trouble don't last always, but I'm not gonna be fooled. My feelings aren't going to be hurt. I'm just missing her, but I can't let anything get in the way of what God got going on with me, no matter what the relation is to me, because I don't want to lose this, y'all. You see how I'm having these divine experiences, and these experiences, I'm able to show them to you in the emerald tablets, so you can get an example of the emerald tablets. And the reason this stuff is happening to me, because of the law of correspondence. See, I was having an issue. I was going through it. My star was twinkling. It was flinching. It was about to go out. So God sent aid. He corresponded to my cry. He corresponded to my vibration. He corresponded to my issue. And here I am now, y'all, 12 years later, walking around with somebody else's heart in me. And I thank them. I thank them. I thank them. I'm taking care of this heart. I'm loving on this heart, y'all. But and then let me show y'all something. My eyes just landed on. How can light be seen by a man born blind? How can light be seen by a man born blind? Y'all, I was born with a veil over my eyes, so I gotta up and up on the thing. So what I'm doing is, whatever I'm learning in each carnation, I'm bringing with me. So I'm already coming with knowledge, but I'm coming with knowledge because I'm what you call a saint, and you will get all your information and your knowledge from me, those that are seeking. And then when it says a man born blind, meaning you were born with darkness in you, and you refuse to let the light overcome the dark. But trust me, you want to let that light overcome the dark, because that is what you're going to be given up to. So if you're out here pretending to be something you're not, trust me, that has to be judged. That little invisible critter that you done created, that going around doing stuff, and you know dang well deep down inside you're really not like that, that has to be judged, and you will be judged for creating that. And that will come in a form of a demon. Not your problems, not your situations. Imagine your situations turning into a demon on you. Like, you just imagine the hurt and the wrong that's being done. That's why heads being chopped off, and all of the heads are being replaced, because it's a new time. We done moved, y'all. The phones tell y'all we in 5D. First we was in 4G, then we was in 3G, then we was in 2G. Y'all better roll with the times. I love you guys, and I hope you got a lot out of this. Like and subscribe to my channel. If you like the information, about the Kayballon, if it makes a whole lot of sense to you, even if you come up with something that I didn't come up with, or you see something that I maybe should have explained a little better, feel free to comment. But listen, don't come at me nasty. Don't come at me sideways, because we're in the spirit realm, and whatever you do to me is going to come back on you 100 times most powerful. So be respectful. If you don't like it, move on. But if this interests you and you are into the hermetics like me, and you want to figure out what in the world they be talking about, come to my channel, because not only do I explain the text to you, but I give you real live examples. I love you, and you guys have a blessed day.